All right, thank you again for joining us, everyone. I'd like to introduce Dr. Joya Smith, who is our subject matter expert and will be the course instructor for this DEI certificate. And we're very excited to hear what you're able to share, and then we'll open up for questions and get to hear what you are all interested in about this certificate. So thank you, Joya. Take it away.
Perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so wonderful to see your smiling faces. I see the smiles there. I think we're all in agreement that this is a great time for us to consider and think about diversity, equity, and inclusion broadly. And so you being here today says a lot about your commitment and your thoughts around it. And we hope that you will join us for this certificate program experience because we have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to give you a little synopsis of what you can expect from the program. I can first share with you that there will be 5 modules that you will work through. And the beauty of the way that this course has been designed is that you get about 2 weeks to work on a module at a time. And at the close of that, you'll have an opportunity to join your peers to have opportunities to discuss the learning. And so I think that is probably the key point to expanding our thoughts around DEI broadly, is to engage in the work, but then to have opportunities to connect with others to kind of talk through some of the things that you learn. So specifically in the modules, we'll spend time talking about a number of things. And the first thing that we will talk about will be the various dimensions of diversity. A lot of times when we think about DEI, we think about race, ethnicity, or we think about gender. A lot of times we do not spend considering or thinking about the other dimensions. So thinking about ability status, thinking about generational differences, so on and the other. And so with that, our first meeting for this program will give us an opportunity to really dig in deep and think broadly about what does diversity or representation truly mean. So I'm really excited about that. But what I think is really the key to this program is that in the second module, we'll spend time doing some personal reflecting. Self-reflection in DEI work is very valuable. In the second module, we'll spend time thinking about our own emotional intelligence. Can I see hands? How many of you have done perhaps an inventory of your level of emotional intelligence? I see a few hands, which is great. But one of the things that we hope that you will be able to do during this certificate program is to revisit that inventory or to do the inventory for the first time. Again, giving you room and space to really think about how do I interact and engage with others in relationship to those who have different social identities, getting back to the first module where we think about the dimensions of diversity. Because again, the dimensions of diversity really lends itself to work around social identity. So that's the first 2 modules. We'll move from that, and then we'll head into the third module, which will give you an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into DEI models that are around us. So we will take a look at some of the different businesses and organizations that have created these elaborate DEI programs and projects. And we'll start to kind of uncover what's working with these other plans. And we'll kind of keep that information intact for ourselves, because by the end of the program, you'll have an opportunity to develop your own DEI plan. And what you will do with your DEI plan is craft it for the work that you're doing in your own organization. So we'll look at those models in module 3. And then again, we'll start thinking about module 5 when you'll craft your own. But in module 4, we'll spend time thinking about how we communicate about DEI. It's not enough to just have the information. It's not enough to just know what works, but it's in the way that we communicate the plans and how we talk things through. So in my estimation, I think we'll have a comprehensive approach in our certificate program plan to kind of think about DEI broadly, but then be able to find ways that we can personally apply it after we've done self-reflection, we've done our research to look at what's working in other places, and then we can figure out how we can be an ally or an advocate in our own right. Keeping in mind culture, because that's another big piece. You will be culture change agents by the time this is over. And so during our time together, you'll spend thinking about culture of organizations. I did leave that one out, I apologize. But we will also think about what's the culture at an organization and how can I help shape and craft it so that it's better than what it is in the moment. So I think that's all of the pieces to the puzzle that we can share at this time, but I would love to hear your thoughts and your questions about the program. Again, I'm completely excited. You can tell I was just kind of talking nonstop, but I'm excited about this opportunity for us to work together and to grow as we expand our knowledge around DEI. So with that, I'm going to open the floor for questions. No questions? And that's okay, that's okay. I know I kind of threw a lot out at you all at once.
I have some, hi, Dr. Smith, my name's Will.
Hi,
My
Will.
pronouns are he, him, and his. So I understand it begins the week of October 10th. And it's 10 weeks. So I believe that brings it out to the middle of December. Are there like a set days and times when we gather?
Yes, I don't think we have the calendar set at this moment for those meetings, but you can expect that after a 2-week span, after each module, we will have a meeting that is optional for everyone to come together. So it's my hope that, you know, you can attend all of them, but if perhaps you can only attend 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 5, 5 of the sessions, that would be perfect. But I don't think that schedule has been determined yet. If someone from the team can let me know if those dates have been set yet.
Joya, you can actually really maybe work with the class at the beginning to see if there's a particular night during the week that, you know, has the best opportunity for everyone. You know, typically they are either Monday through Thursday, so they are during the week. And, you know, at 7-ish so that you're not rushing out of work to attend them, assuming, you know, we don't know the exactly the length of, I'm sorry, the breadth of people who will be participating, but most of it will be based on an Eastern time, because that's where the, you know, Joya is located, and but typically about, you know, 7-ish. So there is some flexibility there, Joya, in when you'd like to host it.
Perfect.
We also
Good question, Will.
Yeah, no, it's a great question.
Yes. We have a question in the chat also from Sonia. She asks if this program is a good way to prepare for a DEI officer role.
Absolutely. I think this will help set the foundation for how you will evolve in your role. And what I mean by that is as you know, take stock of what's happening once you take on the role, you will have thoughts and even a game plan for developing strategy to implement things wherever you go. So absolutely. In fact, that is the hope of this certificate, is to give people confidence and to equip them with the skills and all of the keys that they'll need to be able to go into a role of this type. as well as develop a network, because that's how this also works. DEI work is not done in silos. You need everyone. And so it's nice when you do have a core of people that you have kind of talked through some of these concerns with, to call back and say, hey, can we talk through this and get some insight from other places? So absolutely. I think I see another hand. Anissa?
Hi, Dr. Smith. Hi, sorry, I just realized my camera was also off when I went to unmute myself. Apologies for that. My name is Anissa. Hi, Cody. Thank you for the great emails and the invite to join this today. I'm from the Boston Public Health Commission. And so, and we might be one of those programs where you have, we have structure internally that we're currently updating. And because we are currently updating our current curricula, and designing a whole process based on our recently released anti-racism policy. Wondering if, so I'm thinking this isn't just for me, right? I'm thinking of bringing a cohort of commission staff into this program, and your outline definitely matches up with sort of how we move within the commission. So I love the outline that you gave about the coursework and what you could sort of be looking for in that. But how would you handle if I wanted to bring in a full cohort? Would that be right? We all enroll in our, we're, you know, we quasi-government, so nothing about our process is going to let me get in October, right? So I'm looking more for the next course that you all host for this, because again, nothing about our process will allow you to get paid in enough time for us to get into an October course. So this is more me prepping for wanting to get this group in. Would you recommend that I bring, you know, I try to enroll everybody into the next upcoming course, or would you, or that I try to break the groups apart and have them, you know, half and half, or would this be something that Suffolk could just do for a large group? And I think the reason why I'm not really leaning in on 3 specifically, right, option 3, is because part of what I really did like about the description was the opportunity to network with others who are doing it. And I think just us amongst ourselves, it takes away something from the experience that you are all trying to provide. And so, yeah, I just wanted to know how you would see, there are a total of 12 of us who are considered racial equity facilitators within the organization. We run our 2-day racial equity course. Is a, you know, we're an organization of 1,200 people, so you can imagine what that's like. But I would be looking to bring about 12 others into this course if that was possible. So yeah, I just wanted to get your sort of feedback and thoughts on how we could do that without taking away the experience of the engagement with others from different organizations who would be in the group.
So I would say yes, I would bring a cohort in, because I think there's value in people hearing the same information at the same time. Knowing also that there are other people within the network that they will be able to make connections with in those sessions where we do come together. There will be times where we break into small groups. And so, you know, we would be sure to find ways to not have that 12 in the same group, but offer, you know, opportunities for them to engage with others throughout the cohort, the larger cohort. But I do think there's value in bringing a team if you're able, because again, a lot of times people get information in different times, but you know, who knows, at the water cooler, you all will be able to say, well, remember when we read this article, and be able to have those conversations about information that you are getting at the same time. And I also think that, you know, if you wanted to do the third option, I'm sure Suffolk could maybe work through some things. If that's a better fit for, you said you have 12,000 employees.
12,000, yeah, there's a lot of us here.
So there may be others within your organization who could benefit from an experience like this in a cohort that is just unique to them. And so Dee will probably be able to talk with you about that.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean, you can certainly continue to communicate with and through Cody, but we can absolutely accommodate whatever approach that works for you. Whether or not you wanted to split it up 6 and 6, or I mean, I think we're a new program we're launching. I know you wouldn't, again, government, no chance you'd be able to get in by October, but as the subsequent sections run too, we would expect that the opportunity to enable your team at least split in half to network will definitely grow as well. Yeah.
Great.
So
thank you. That's
absolutely
really
happy to talk, happy to work with you. Just Cody will be your liaison, and we'll be able to support whatever works.
great. That's amazing. I appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, so we did get the January 16th, so that's the cohort in January that starts. Any other questions? Yeah. I guarantee if you have a question, there's other people here that have the same question, so don't be shy.
I can talk a little bit more about the assignments. And so each module will have its own set of assignments that will be graded. So I think the one standard activity that you will get throughout the experience is an opportunity to write a journal. And you will be provided with some prompts that will help guide your thinking around whatever the topic is at the time. But the journal experience, I think, is probably one of the keys to charting your own thoughts around DEI that you can come back to if there's some of the material that perhaps you're struggling with. It's nice to kind of be able to go back to and think through and look at some of your notes and maybe even see your own progress and growth around some of the topics there. Some of the other assignments will require you to do a lot of reading and watching of videos. And again, it's not necessarily required that you jot down notes related to what you're reading, but of course it helps to enrich the experience. And again, it may be an opportunity for you to continue to keep an ongoing journal around materials related to DEI. So when you need to call it up, you'll be able to put your fingertips on it and be able to go back to it. Another assignment, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, was the development of your own DEI plan. We're not thinking something that's going to be major in the sense that you will have to come up with your company's plan for the year. No, we're really thinking about something that you can have ownership over. So if there's a project within your department that requires a DEI lens, that would be something that would be part of the project that you design and carry out and measure. Another assignment will allow you to interview a person within the cohort. And so we'll give you some questions to kind of get the conversation going, because again, we want you to be able to build a network with others who are a part of this experience. So those are some of the assignments that you can expect from the program. And again, we really are excited about this opportunity and we can't wait for you to join us. We're going to put your names on the roster today. Any more questions?
Hi, Dr. Smith, this is Will.
Yes.
So I heard you just describe that the assignments will be graded. So I translate that into possible credits towards another certificate or other learning or degree. Is that fair?
Actually, I think the points help you, or the grading that happens with this just really certifies that you've completed this certificate, this program. But I'm sure we have other offerings that we would love for you to consider down the road. This is just the first step.
Yeah, we're looking differently than many sort of asynchronous self-paced non-credit, where there's not necessarily a lot of opportunity for individuals to get feedback, sort of just engaging with the content and not necessarily getting direct feedback. We wanted to make that part of our non-credit program. So your assignments are getting reviewed, analyzed, you're getting feedback. In the aim is to kind of measure the level of knowledge that you're getting to. So for instance, the difference between saying, okay, you know, based upon the responses, we think this individual is proficient in this, they understand this, versus, you know, this is a really good response and this shows a mastery of the subject. So it's really kind of breaking down learning into the sort of those levels of achievement, as opposed to kind of a traditional A, B, C grade. We are, you know, our goal at some point would be to enable them to be stepping stones and feeders into programs, but we're just not there yet.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Smith. My name's Nancy. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this. I don't think I realized this was a brand new program, but I'm not new to Suffolk. So, but I haven't done any online courses other than like continuing education. So this will be new for me and I'm excited. But do you have any recommended readings ahead of time, or do you prefer that we just kind of start fresh with the first class?
Oh, that's a great question. I can send you a list. But honestly, I think the course is filled with a lot of readings, and there will be an ongoing reference list of other materials. And so if you were to read something before the class, I would say there's a book by, oh goodness, Lawana Harris, and it's called Diversity Beyond Lip Service. That would be the one, and it's a short read, but I think it's a really good way to prep for the class, although we will have plenty to read. But
Just
over
a new
time,
role for me as well. So
yeah, and I think that's a really good place to start. So Lawana Harris's Diversity Beyond Lip Service.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, thank you, Cody. I see it in the chat.
Before we go, just in case, I wanted to clarify one thing. There was the question about meeting times. And I do want to clarify that although we will have live sessions once per module, which is fantastic, the rest of the work is going to be on your time. There'll be milestones for each module every week, every 2 weeks. But other than the live meetings, the rest is kind of up to you and when you can fit it in. Anything else? Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. It's really exciting to get to meet you and to get to hear from Dr. Smith more about the certificate. You know, this is a new program and I'm excited to hear about your experience. I'm excited to be with you along the way. If there's anything, you know, between now and October 10 that you're still curious about or that you need further direction with, please don't hesitate to reach out and we're more than happy to help and guide you. And Otherwise, register now. And thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you all. This is exciting. I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.